Welcome back, Cert 3 TVET, another day in paradise. Take it away, Phil.
Think twice, 'cause it's another day for you and me in paradise.
But actually, what I'm here for is to talk about the final written piece of work that you'll have to do for the communication units that we've been working on, following on from the role plays, which are now as vignettes on YouTube. So the last piece of writing is an email. So I'm just going to go through what I would expect in terms of how you'd set that email out and the language that you would use. Yeah, so that email is something that you put in writing following your meeting with the supervisor. So that was played by Meredith. You're writing from the perspectives of if you were me, so the new support worker. So put yourself into my role when you write this email. There's a subject line, something like that. So what I would write in there is review of Mary Smith's exercise program. So it's clear when that email goes to the boss, she can look at that, sees the topic, okay, that's about Mary Smith and not being happy with her exercise program. Emails are a little bit semi-formal on one level. They're not quite as formal as if I wrote a letter, I guess, and attached it to an email. I might start it as for Dear Meredith. In emails, I guess my experience has been it's okay, it goes to go hi Meredith, whatever the name that you want to give the manager of the service. I'll stick with Meredith. So just that setting the scene. So as discussed at our meeting today, here is an outline of Mary Smith's concerns regarding her current exercise program. So I'm just putting it straight up, that opening sentence. This is what I'm writing about. During my visit to Mary on the 25th of the 3rd, 2020, Mary stated that. So that's where I can just be factual. So I had a visit, Mary stated this, and that's where you put it in your words. There's something else that I've been thinking about and I've probably neglected to address in my meeting with Meredith. I probably needed to bring up that Mary also had raised concerns about the level of service that she had been receiving. So Mary's not particularly happy, and for me to be a diligent worker and looking at Mary getting a really, I guess, best practice or best service that we can offer her, I think that I would also be looking at the manager having a chat with Mary just to check, if Mary's happy or what improvement she would like to that service. So I think that would be the best way to address that issue that as I said, I'd neglected. I'm human, I've made a mistake. You can reflect on that in perhaps some of the questions that I ask you. I guess I was really focused on a few other things at my meeting and forgot that. And that could happen in real life. And I remembered and I dwell on something and I think, and this could be a good opportunity for me to just raise that with Meredith. So what I might do towards the end of the email is write recommendations. So it would be one, look at Mary changing her current exercise program over to hydrotherapy with the involvement of the supervising physiotherapist or medical person that's supervising that. And the other recommendation I might make is that the manager of our service, which is Meredith, that the manager make a time to chat with Mary just to check if Mary is happy with her service or has any suggestions for improvements, or perhaps even wishes to make a complaint. And that's on reflection. I could have suggested to Mary when I first met with her and we were discussing her issues, I could have said, look, you're quite free to make a complaint and this is the process. I didn't, so I probably erred there as well. How to sign off? I think regards is a good professional way. I said, it's not necessarily over the top formal. Sometimes in email, I know whether you go hi or dear. I think I've seen both of those. Would be fine. Dear Meredith, as discussed in our meeting as a starting point, or hi Meredith, as discussed in our starting point. The ending would be regards, write your name, and underneath your position, support worker, would be the most professional way to set it out. And also set it out, don't just keep writing, Dear Meredith, and keep writing here. Put a comma if you like, but then take a space down there. During my visit, you've got the 2 dot points there, might lend itself to a couple of points. So you're not trying to jam everything up, you're trying to space it out. So when people look at it, they can see, in I guess, sections that make sense. Spell check, actually, I've got to mention spell check. Run a spell check over it because you're going to put it straight in that email before you send it. Okay, very important. Hopefully that keeps you on the right track. Anyway, thanks for tuning in and let's go back to another day in paradise. Toodle pips.